What's up, everybody? Crow family, welcome to CrowCast episode 55. It's Tuesday, it's live at 9. How are we all doing, everybody? What another great show we got for you. Award-winning, Grammy-nominated producer. We know him very well. Our good friend Romesh Dodangoda is coming up very shortly. How are we all doing, everybody? A lot of comments there. How are you doing, Ron?
Very well, mate. Very well.
Hey.
Had a great weekend. I think everybody's seen it on the socials. It was all about Wrestlemania for me. A big time of the year, man. Absolutely love it. But I think what done it for me, dude, was it was in Raymond James Stadium. There it is. Look at that. Raymond James Stadium, over 25,000 people watching. It was just, you know, you don't have to be a wrestling fan. It was just so emotional because for anybody who doesn't watch like WWE or anything or AEW or anything like that, there hasn't been fans there, like, you know, or they've had to try and evolve. And I think part of it was in like a performance center. So even then they evolved and had like wrestlers around the ring kind of trying to add an atmosphere. Then they went to cinematic matches. So the journey to get to 25,000 people was just, it was tremendous. And I mean, you got to think, man, this is an event that every year the people travel to all over the world. They sell it out, and I'm talking 70,000 plus for night after night. It's a whole extravaganza for the whole week. So as a fan, it was just, and even as a rock fan, Shane, it was just brilliant to kind of see hope. Do you know what I mean? It was like, you know, they had artists there, whether it be Polly or I think in WrestleMania, they had New Year's Day. I think that's what they call female fronted. But it's like, you know, they got to play to 25,000 people. That's
yeah, man. Can we get that photo back up? Because I'm not gonna lie, when you were telling me about this, and then I saw that, I thought I was an old pick, to be honest. And I was like, no, you would tell me like, no, that happened. Like, it's insane, bro. I feel a bit anxious about it. It's like, it's incredible.
Yeah, it was definitely strange. And I mean, you know, you can see the scenery there was phenomenal. They had pyros going off constantly. Like I said, you didn't have to just be, there's a lot of people tune in just for WrestleMania, just because it's like the Super Bowl, man. This is the first year where I watched the Super Bowl. So they've kind of, they've done it off the back of that, because the Super Bowl was at Raymond James Stadium as well. So they've kind of followed their COVID protocols, and they've almost used that as a template. So it was kind of easier to see how the Super Bowl would work. And then obviously, you know, evolve then to the WrestleMania. Two nights as well, dude. So it was 2 nights sold out. So you're talking, you know, 50,000 plus that went there for 2 evenings, like, you know. But that is a stadium that's like I said, they used to doing 70 to 90,000 plus. And like people, you know, people like myself who would travel there, or I'd love to, from Wales, from Australia, from Japan, everybody kind of goes to wherever it was. I was in Tampa in Florida. So, I mean, just everywhere is working differently in America at the moment. So, just weird. Just like I said, you've gone from, and like to put it into comparison, so WrestleMania's just finished, and it was Monday Night Raw last night, and now they've gone back to a place called the Thunderdome, which has multiple screens around the arena, bit like this, basically. Like CrowCast is just faces on every plasma screen. Do you know what I mean? You sign in, you can register, and you can watch it from your home and be part of the crowd. And I think they kind of feed a little bit of your audio in. So if you're at home now and you're shouting or whatever, they kind of, but it's not the same. And then they filter in like the football, a little bit of kind of fake crowd to enhance it. But when you hear 25,000 people, it was just like, oh wow, like it was wow. Well, AEW have been doing it the last couple of weeks in Jacksonville, and I don't think they've even hit a quarter of those numbers. I think there's only a couple of thousand there, and even that makes a difference. Like, do you know what I mean? Just hearing 2,000-3,000 maybe just shouting, or it's that unexpected chant, or what makes a live event like football, or music, or whether it be wrestling. So to hit 25,000 was just like, wow, you know, it was just like, wow. So yeah, it was really emotional, mate. It was just like, I could have probably watched the same event, and I think anybody who kind of gets what I'm saying but you would agree. You could have watched the same event twice and had completely different feelings over it. It really did add to some of the matches, because when you hear the reaction of the crowd, how they're reacting to certain stars, it kind of makes you more invested then. Do you know what I mean? It is that pantomime, that show time. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, sounds like you enjoyed it, Pat.
Yeah, I mean, you add that on top of the old Line of Duty, which was Sunday night, which I think, oh, there we go. See, Line of Duty, Series 6, don't worry, there's not going to be any spoilers. But yet again, a series, if you haven't watched it, if you haven't heard about it, a phenomenal series by the BBC, brilliant writers. It's hard because I'm trying to think of not to say anything that kind of gives anything away, but the plot is brilliant, the twists, the turns, and the reason why I'm kind of bringing that up of what I did on the weekend, because it was funny because the internet kind of broke with the amount of people who were taking photos of a certain shot in a scene to try and work it out yourself. And a lot of people felt like idiots, like holding their phone up and stuff and trying to kind of turn it around to identify certain characters or whatever. It was brilliant, man. So yeah, it was not an eventful weekend as in going up mountains or anything. It was sitting in front of the TV, but like I said, the Wrestlemania and that episode of Line of Duty was just like, wow, wow.
Yeah, I've got to get on that Line of Duty. I haven't watched one episode yet, so yeah, but I do like the thought of, like you were saying, is it the last series now?
This is the last. There we are. I mean, the chat room is going berserk, but they love it, loving it. Loads of people love it. It is brilliant, Shane. And
yeah, is this the last series?
Yeah, this is it. I think this was episode. I mean, everybody will chirp in now. I think this was episode 2 or episode 3. I think. But there's only 7. There's only like 6 or 7 episodes. So that's it. That's it for the whole. They're wrapping it up.
I've never been. Lockdown is when I've started watching these, series and stuff, and I've never really been into series before it. But I can't handle this waiting every week. I've got to watch this start to finish. So I'll probably wait until it's all done and dusted and then jump on it.
Funny enough, as you're saying that, so I didn't get onto Line of Duty probably just before COVID actually hit. I came across it. So I had 5 seasons to binge, and then how it ends on season 5, you're like, oh no. And then obviously COVID happened, so I didn't even know it was coming out when it has. And yeah, mate, I'm on the weekly watch at the moment, and it is absolutely killing me. It is because it's really cool. It's really well written. And I know you'd appreciate that because you always suggest stuff for me to watch, or you suggest stuff for the Crow family to watch. It's really well. All the details are in there. Do you know what I mean? If you like your crime dramas, but it's really cool. The plots, the twists, and the attention to detail, whether you're on season 3 looking back at season 1 or season 5 looking back at season 2, there's little things that has been planted along the way. And I love that. I love the thought that they've gone that far ahead and gone, oh, well, when we get to this point, we'll drop that on the audience because they'll, oh my God, it'll be that mind-blowing part where they'll go, oh, that's from season 2, that's from season 3, that's from season 1. Do you know what I mean? I love that where, they don't get lost. Like I'm really struggling with series like The Walking Dead, for example. I followed it from the start. I'm really struggling with that because it just seems a bit, I'm a bit worn out with it. It seems a bit.
Yeah. I was watching American Gods as a series, and they've stopped that now. They've cancelled it.
I didn't want to say that to you because you told me the other week I'm watching it, I'm well into it, and I thought, do I tell him? Because I didn't want to spoil it.
Absolutely,
but then I almost wanted to save you. But yeah, I know what you mean because you get invested, you get into the characters, and all of a sudden, bang, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. But there's another series I watched. It was out a couple of years back, so I've only now got into it. But Mr. Robot. I don't know if any of the Crow family see Mr. Robot. I mean, this guy, what an actor. This is the guy that played Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie. Incredible. It's dark. It's it asks a lot of questions, and every series there's this massive drop, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Special series, man, an amazing actor. Absolutely amazing actor. But yeah, that's on Amazon, that is, by the way. Anyone who wants to watch it.
That one, yeah?
Yeah. But It was out, I think, in 2017. So, it's been out a few years, but I was a late arrival. But yes, it's banging. It's really good.
Oh wow, I'm gonna check that out. I'll definitely
Yeah.
check that out. And all the series is dropped and everything, or there we are. There's a few people commenting now. Jax, yes, Mr. Robot. Annie Joyce, Mr. Robot. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it's all done and dusted. So it's really out there, like good.
That's really
Very
cool.
good.
No, I don't
Like
mind that.
honestly, I can't even begin to describe what it's like because it would give too much away. Honestly, it's but he talks to the camera. You're in every episode. Do you know what I mean? The audience is in every episode. He's looking straight at you, he's talking to you, and
Yeah.
you just go through his life through his eyes. And every series is this bombshell. You're like, oh my god. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, I'll check it out, mate. That's a beautiful thing, isn't it? You know, I've discovered stuff through, even just on CrowCast. There's been so many people writing comments of, "Oh, you should check this out," and Facebook's been great for that. I think everybody's trying to help everybody's mental health of checking out new stuff because there is only so much TV you can kind of put up with, but it is nice to have something that you're like, "Oh my god, this has been out for years and I've never checked it out," or you know.
Yeah, man, absolutely. There's a lot of people saying here now about stuff. Lisa Johnson or Johnson, Ronnie Shane. Have you seen Designated Survivor?
Yes.
I am seeing that.
Yes. I think yes, Lisa, I think I actually mentioned this a while ago. This is Jack Bauer. Sorry to say that because he'll always be Jack Bauer to me, but Keitha Sutherland. Brilliant, Shane. Absolutely brilliant. So have you ever seen like 24?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's similar to that, but he's on the other foot. He literally becomes the president, not by choice, but by design.
Yeah.
Really cool. Very, very cool series that is. So
Cool.
yeah,
cool.
and I've always said to you, I don't know if you ever got around to watching him, but House of Cards. Oh wow. I think you love that. It's just like I can't think of his name now, but Kevin Spacey's in it. And I know there's a lot of like, about Kevin Spacey, but you can't fault some of his acting and the character he is in that. Frank Castle. Oh my god, he's such a bastard. Like you're invested. Like, do you know what I mean? It's one of those series where you're like, he can't get away with that, surely. You know what I mean? You forget you're watching a series because you're just like, fuck, it's taking you away from reality, and it's put you in a complete fantasy. So House of Cards, man, I really recommend that.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. There's so many people saying different things, though. I love this.
Yeah,
Black
exactly.
Sails, Paradise City, Fringe. I've been watching Vikings on Amazon. I heard lots of good things about that.
Done that. Absolutely outstanding.
Is that better than Game of Thrones?
Completely different. I couldn't answer that. Game of Thrones, if you have never watched Game of Thrones, it is phenomenal. For me, I loved it. A lot of people disappointed with the end, but I think every person I've spoken to looks at the ending differently. They almost like, so that's not spoiling it. It's just you might portray it how you want to portray it, and that's brilliant. It's almost, do you know what I mean? So but no, I definitely would watch Game of Thrones again. It's very, it's got that whole crossover of like Lord of the Rings. You do become invested in the characters, the families,
Yeah.
The interchanges, the drama of it, and you're very lucky with a series like that, dude, because I think we had to wait like 2 years in between every series, where you can just like smash it now and it's all there ready for you. And the same with Vikings, to be honest. I kind of was ill a few years ago and I stuck Vikings on just, one of those series let's see what it's about. And it does start off a bit like History Channel, kind of low budget. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is incredible. Like, so.
Is it more sex in Vikings than Game of Thrones? That's the real question.
Whoa. Whoa. Do you know what? They're about on par.
Excellent.
They're just as feisty, to be honest. So
I might give that a watch.
Yeah, there's quite a lot in Game of Thrones. There's quite a lot of that where you don't expect it as well, and you're like, oh, hello, sailor. So yeah, it's a bit wow, like. I'm extremely thirsty. So should we tell them the good news, Shane?
We have some good news, everybody. RBS Send the Nipa is back in stock.
Send
is back. There we go. There's where you can get it. thosedamncrows.com/beer. Go and get yours now. Like we see, guys, right? They don't stick around long because people love it, which is incredible for us. And so go get yours now while you can.
Yeah, I mean, in this climate as well, I will add, it's been beautiful this week to see the beer has popped up in Pontyclean in a craft shop there. It's popped up in Puthcall in a beer craft shop there. Bridgend now has a beer craft shop. So yeah, check that out. I'll have to get names and stuff. We'll actually maybe put in a fan page of all the places. We are looking at getting over the bridge, but due to the climate and where we are at the moment, it's got to be small steps, unfortunately. But brilliant news that is as well. It's even making its way into shops, like, you know.
Yeah, man. And we got a surprise later on for What's the Next Line. That's going to be our prize. So prepare yourselves for What's the Next Line. This is going to be the prize for What's the Next Line. 4 cans of our beer, Send the Nipper.
Oh, see? There you go.
There it is. Balancing on a Fender Squire. Awesome.
Fantastic. Well, that is sorted. Great weekend. Shall we have a guest?
Yes. Can't wait for this. Ladies and gentlemen, Crow family, please welcome our good friend, award-winning, Grammy-nominated record producer, Mr. Romesh Dodangoda.
Hello.
There he is, the best camera in the business. Looking fresh. How are you, brother?
I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
Yes, not too bad, not too bad. So obviously you're at Longwave Studios there?
I am, yeah. Yeah, we've just been doing some work here today, so I thought I'd stick around here and do this with you here.
Awesome. What type of stuff today, bud? Can you see?
Lots of boring stuff. We're just like doing like some rewiring and bits and bobs, and yeah, so like nothing exciting today.
That's it, man. People don't realize what it takes to run a studio like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, boring days of just like setting things up, and today we were like playing around with like lighting for like some video stuff that I have to do. So yeah, it's not all exciting stuff.
I imagine, like, in this climate, we didn't really get a chance to kind of embark on it last time, but you've had to adapt as well, like you said, with all the lighting. We were lucky enough to come down, which we'll touch on that later. But you know, like you said, you've had to look at more this kind of platform now for even your work, especially with everything you're doing with the tutorial side of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because like I run an audio community that's called Control Room, and I think during lockdown we had like a lot of new members, and you know, it was a great time to like really spend some time getting, you know, things for that better, and you know, so like yeah, I mean, and I kind of did like a lot more mixing, like while, you know, because we had to kind of close and we weren't really able to kind of do, you know, face-to-face sessions. There's me. So yeah, like, you know, I did a lot of mixing, which is great because I, you know, really enjoy doing that. I don't just, you know, record and mix my own stuff. I mix things that have been sent to me, you know, they've been recorded elsewhere. So yeah, you know, it's been interesting.
And yet again, like get to do jobs that you don't want to do, but you got the time to do them. As in, like, you know, I seen that you revamped the studio, which was brill. Give it a new lick of paint, which looks beautiful. And then I suppose do any work to any of the gear, because you're always flat out, so it's a perfect chance to kind of dust everything down, I suppose, or upgrade as well, or try new gear as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always like a lot of new equipment coming in. Like I just got 2 new snare drums the other day. I can't play drums, but I love drums. And you know, like I think for me, like especially with production stuff, like drums are the foundation of any song. Like if you know, when they're really, you know, nice and proud, and when they sound great, everything else just fits on top. You know, so yeah, you know, I've just been kind of getting new bits of drum stuff as well, and it's been fun.
That's what I love about your place as well, Ramesh, is that if you are lucky enough to get down to that studio and work with Ramesh, every 5 minutes is something new coming through the door. There's a new parcel, there's new equipment coming in, upgrading left, right, and center. And as that's coming in, he's selling his old stuff, going out in other boxes. It's unbelievable, dude. It's like an in and out dispatch factory, isn't it? It's
I think
unbelievable.
you almost bought some speakers off me last time when you chickened out.
I really did. Yeah, I did chicken out and really wish I bought them now.
That was a good deal.
It was a good deal. It was a good deal. But yeah, man, you get given a lot of stuff, dude.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know why, but I guess it's like I work with a lot of great brands who just want me to use stuff on records, and the thing is, it's cool because, like, say if I've got an amp or something, that's so many guitarists will get to try that equipment. So I think it's about, especially when you're in the studio, you tend to find like new things that you want to use with the band. Like, I know a lot of guitarists, for instance, when if we've used a certain amp, they then want to go and get that for live. And same with drums. Sometimes you find something that you like in the studio. So
yeah, 100%. So let's go back in, Ramesh. Way back to where it all started, before you even thinking about being a producer, bud. I mean, obviously we know that you play a bit of guitar and stuff, and so was there ever a thought of being a musician first?
Yeah, so I mean, I started like I heard Oasis, and then that got me into music big time, and it got me like playing the guitar, and like when I was in school, like I was in a band, did that whole thing. So yeah, but for me, like I hated being in a band. I loved going into the studio with them and like recording. I found that like really interesting, and like watching people work on our music at the time. And for me, it's just like I had no interest in the whole being in a band thing. I just started to develop the the love for the studio side of it, really.
So it was never songwriting was never a thought?
No, definitely. And I think like especially with the Oasis thing, like I know it's a band that you either love or you hate, but I think what they taught me was like how simple big songs, they don't need to be complicated songs. Like you listen to any of those songs and they're so simple. And yet they're huge, and whether even if you don't like that band, you know all the words to a lot of their songs, which I think is like, that's very powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they got signature riffs. I mean, they got signature riffs, the hooks, and it's like you said, even if you're not into the band, you can't help but sing along to a chorus if it's on the radio, because even just the melody lines, they are perfectly captured. Because I said to you that I didn't realize that. Somebody else told me that you were into Oasis, and I was like, "What?" Only because I don't know. I just never knew they were such a big influence. So that kind of
I've definitely got in trouble in like Fuel Rock Bar because I've queued like 30 Oasis tracks on the jukebox, and someone tried to fight me for that. Some guy tried to fight me because I put too much Oasis on.
So what age were you, mate, when you first started recording then for bands?
I think I was like, I mean, it started because as a guitarist, and like the guitarist in your band are probably the same, like you start obsessing over getting the guitar sound you want to come out of the speakers, and that's what happened with me. So I think it would have been around like 15, something like that. And I just got obsessed with like how do I make my guitar sound the way it sounds in my head. And I think everything came from that obsession, really. Like I naturally progressed with, okay, how can I make drums sound good, and everything else. And so it started there, really.
And was it a case of like then going and learning how to use this equipment, or did you build your own studio, or did you go and work with other studios? Or
I built my own studio. So I basically, like, I would just like buy whatever, just basic stuff, and I would just learn how to get the most out of it. And yeah, like I built a studio on the side of the house. It was tiny. Like the live room, you could fit a drummer and the drum kit, and the drummer couldn't move. It was like, it was so small, and it was boiling. And I think I remember like recording one drummer in there, and it was because it was so small and hot. He went outside and there was steam coming off his so but yeah, I had the studio on the side of the house for quite a while, and we did quite a lot of bands in like Kids in Glass Houses and Dopamine. Don't know if you remember that band.
Yeah. Neil Starr,
Blackout, like all that stuff kind of started there, really.
Yeah, well, that was a whole scene amongst itself as well, and I think that's when I started hearing your name originally. Was throughout that kind of scene when we were playing with them up whether it be Merthyr, Blackwood, all those areas, and I started kind of playing with Sean's bands, or Neil, especially with Dopamine as well, Alex with the Guns, and your name started kind of propping up a lot, which was really cool. Was there a time around there where you were thinking of maybe getting back into the band thing, or were you just kind of so engrossed into because that was a real cool scene that was happening? Or were you just like, actually, I'm gonna start recording all these bands by year?
By that point, I was super focused on producing. I had the being in a band thing got like done with me very early on. As soon as I kind of got into this, I was, I've just always been just about this only, really. But yeah, like, I mean, that scene was amazing. I always wish I could relive that time. It's just like,
have you still got like all the old demos as well, Ramesh? Like all
yeah. I've got drives that go back, like behind that rack is like so many drives that date back. And there's like, all different versions of songs. There's like, there's so many like versions that no one will probably ever hear,
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that, because I was like you said, it was such a cool scene. So the fact that you were around starting to capture them from that age as well, and then as they were growing and progressing, that must have helped yourself then as well, like,
Yeah, like I just think there was just like a huge like sense of community. Like everyone was helping each other. I mean, I know that still exists, but I don't know. It was just something magic when you were kind of like growing through it. And like I think for me, it like the Kids in Glass Houses thing. Like we did like 2 demos, and they started to get really popular, and then people were like calling, asking for me to produce their bands, and it just and then as soon as like Kids in Glass Houses took off, then like I kind of went with it, in terms of like so many bands were like calling up at that point, and it was just growing from there, really.
And then obviously because of that growth, then you kind of had to make the studio bigger and come down to Cardiff.
Yeah. So like the first main kind of big decision was like at the time the risky idea of like, okay, I'm going to need to get a place, and I wasn't here then, I was somewhere else. But yeah, I mean that was a huge move, and it was quite nerve-wracking as well, because like you still don't know how it's going to pan out, but luckily still here.
Yeah, because obviously when you started, like you said, it was on the side of a house. Was that like still with mum and dad at that point?
Yeah.
So I respect that. So I know what you mean. It's like, this is safe. Get to have the bands in, get to learn my craft.
You're not, no overheads, really. It's like
yeah.
So
but I mean, some of the bands you've worked with now, bud, can you just list a couple of you worked with?
Yeah, like Motorhead, Bring Me the Horizon, Funeral for a Friend, Twin Atlantic. I like loads.
Wow.
It's been very cool to get to work with a lot of these bands.
That's insane.
Yeah, and the list does go on and on and on. Like,
he's been a bit modest there.
He is being a bit modest, because like it just become part of a thing where I remember wherever I was in my career at that point, you'd hear like of a new band who were doing really super well, like say the Young Guns or whatever, and then obviously you'd worked with them. Kids in Glass Houses, as everybody know, exploded. You were working with them. Funeral for a Friend, you were working with them. There's so many. It goes on. Was Longwave a lot of the work there, or did that kind of take you out of Longwave and then you started obviously progressing and working in other studios? Or
I definitely did, and I still do. Like I probably spend like 80% of my time here, in my studio. But yeah, I mean that was definitely taking me to other studios and working with in different environments, which I love doing when I can anyway. But yeah, like I think like there's been so many projects which have like led me to like a really prestigious studio, like like Abbey Roads. Like I still can't believe that I've worked there so many times now, and because it's places like that are just places that I obsessed about growing up, and
Is it a bit
like
daunting though, or is it a case like all the equipment? Because what I noticed about you is the software that you were using in your studio I've never heard of, but you would use from day one. And so is it a case of, do you like using that stuff and then just take it along with you? Have you got like I don't know, a suitcase full of stuff?
Yeah. I like, for me, like I don't want the technology to be a barrier between me working on the music. So the more familiar my equipment is, I always try and have the stuff that I like and that I know works really well, because I don't want the band to be sat there for hours trying to get a kick drum sound or something, because it's boring. It's like no one is there to do that. Everyone, you're there to make music. So yeah, I mean I definitely like take stuff that I like to use, because for me it's if I can not have any problems with stuff like that, and that stuff's seamless, then it just allows you to focus on the music more.
Yeah. Every producer we've worked with, all the good ones, they're always very conscious of the band, and not wasting time for the band, and getting it done, because they know the minute that musician feels shit about something, you're not going to get the best recording.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, like I mean that's the job, is to make to make the band comfortable, and if something goes wrong, the band do not find out about it. It's like I remember I flew to Germany to do a record, and I got there and the desk wasn't working, and like I was like, shit, just come all this way, and but I didn't want to panic the artist, so just kind of maneuvered the situation a little bit, and we got it working. He didn't know anything about it, and because otherwise, the minute someone in the band panics, then it's like the session kind of falls apart, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
If
there's anybody, sorry Ron, if there's any Crow family that want to ask Ramesh a question, just put them in the list there, and we'll talk about them later. Go on, Ron.
Yeah, I was going to say before we get the key number there, so like obviously you had Longwave, which, like I said, I love that progression from the side of the house, and then you get your own place. You got all the daunting things of the overheads, and then you're building up your gear. What was it like? Obviously, when you worked with a certain band, you don't have to say who it was, and then obviously you move out of Longwave and you're in an established studio that you would have geeked up on. You'd be like, oh my god, I'm going there. What was that feeling like? Because we always ask like band members, what was it like when you hit the stage and stuff like that? But it's nice to ask like a producer and engineer, what was it like to like go to a foreign studio? You know what I mean? That place that isn't your home, that you haven't adapted to suit you, or was it just really super exciting and you just knew everything that was there?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like. It was definitely exciting, but I do remember like the first few times doing it, I definitely like nervous and stuff. But then that's when you lean on, if there's an assistant at the studio, you listen to them. Like I don't want to be, just because I'm the producer, I don't know best. I want to learn. I've never used this studio, so where do the drums sound good in this room, and stuff like that. It's So I mean, now I don't even think about it. It's like it's a natural thing because, and it's something that like even in Control Room I've tried to like, tell up and coming producers, like, as soon as you learn the core, parts of the studio, you can walk into anywhere and work. It's your first few times are definitely a bit nerve wracking, but after that, it's like I just get a buzz every time I go anywhere.
Yeah.
What you look back at, Ramesh, and go, that's the record that made me. That's the one that kind of, because like we did talk and obviously amongst the scene everybody knew who you were, but what was the one where we'll call it, I don't know, Bands Over the Bridge would start to ring, and you know what I mean? It's gone further afield. Like, what was that record that you felt kind of put your stamp out there?
For me, it would have been Smart Casual by Kids in Glass Houses. I had the best time making that record because that I grew up with all of them. Like we're such close friends, and we just had the most amazing time. We all were on the same page with what we were trying to do, and that one, that record definitely, like I would get a lot of calls, from other bands, after from that record. So yeah, probably that one.
That's cool. Well, there's a couple of questions here. We'll start with Kieran Gibson. Question for Ramesh: which band have you worked with who has grown the most since that time of working with them?
Oh,
that's a really good question.
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone like off the top of my head, but what I would say is it's really great seeing bands open to developing their sound, and trying new things and growing in that way. Like I think because I think as a band you can't always just do the same thing over and over again. I mean, some bands can, and it's great, but I think a lot of people want to explore their sound and try and find something new within the band, or unlock a new and something new. And so it's really great to see when bands kind of embrace that and really go for it. I think even like with you guys, when we did Sick of Me, I think there's there's some new stuff being brought in, and it's exciting seeing that stuff come together.
Yeah, 100%, bud. Oh, there we go. Tyler Campbell. Tell Ramesh
Oh,
to tell the Aerosmith story. What's up, Tyler?
Tyler, boy.
Ah, Tyler Campbell.
Stitched him right up.
Has stitched me up, yeah. I've got to remember it now. Okay, so we were at, I think it was Sonosphere, and I think I may have just worked on the Motorhead records, and I was in Phil Campbell's dressing room, and Aerosmith were about to go on, and I love Aerosmith. I'm like a huge fan, and I really wanted to watch them like side stage, but we had like a AAA pass, but they weren't allowing us on. They weren't allowing me on stage, because it was like closed to like Aerosmith friends and family.
Yeah. So
I went to Phil Campbell's dressing room, and he was like, "Are you going to watch Aerosmith?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I really want to watch them side stage because I just want to see it close." And but I said, "But they won't let me on with this pass." And he's like, "Oh, come with me." So Phil Campbell, Motorhead, escorts me through all the security. We stop halfway, and Phil's like, "I need to get my sons because they want to watch as well." So we get his sons as well, and then we're all walking, and we get to the last security guard, and she says, "Sorry, Phil, but we know who you are. We can't let all these people on." And Phil Campbell just goes, "These are my sons." And I look at him, and the woman just looked at me, and I just went.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was the most awkward like silence, and she went, "Oh, just go," and to watch it. These are my sons. I'm definitely not your son.
Oh, that's amazing. What a story that is. I'm so good. Well done, Tyler. Thank you, brother. That's brilliant. Literally, brother. It's your brother.
Yeah, Tyler was there.
Amazing. Tom, which band that you have recently worked with will make it next?
Oh, those damn crows.
Well, of course. Goes without saying.
Come on, Tom.
There's quite a lot. Holding Absence is doing awesome. I did a couple of singles with them.
Yeah.
And Inglorious. I think they're like making a big move at the moment. They seem to be.
That record was brilliant, Ramesh. We couldn't really
talk
about it before because it was due to drop. But yeah, man, I sent Nathan a message. I thought the record, it was brilliant, great songs, well produced, great production. Do you know what I mean? It's that was a great job. I was, man.
That was the first record that I did in the pandemic, which was also new territory. You know, like just kind of working out how we do it, and you know but it came out great. I really love that record.
Yeah. Ian Griffiths, who is the band Ramesh would most like to work with?
Oh, in a completely unrealistic answer, Aerosmith.
It's not unreal. You never know. You never know.
No. That'd be awesome. I just love, like, they just have massive sounds. Like, all their records just sound huge, and they're, you know, Joe Perry's an incredible guitar player. So yeah, probably them.
As a producer, Bud, I mean, I get asked this a lot. Like when you're the front man or the singer in a band, and they ask you, what song do you love and wish that you had written? As a producer, is there a sound or another producer, fellow producer, that you hear and go, wow, that sound is amazing, that you have in high esteem, or you wish you, I don't know, had that sound? Or do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Is there a track that you hear and go, wow, man, that's up there, that's next level?
There's tons of producers and mixers that I have so much respect for, and like, you know, massively inspire me. I think like one that I love, and it's a weird answer because it's not the music that I actually produce, but there's a producer called Dave Sardi, and I think he's amazing at like getting like making it sound vintage, but also like modern at the same time. Like he's got this, you know, he's got a really great sound. So yeah, like, you know, I love listening to his records.
Yeah,
but I mean, you know, there's so many producers that, you know, and I'm really lucky to be friends with a lot of them. Like, you know, especially through Control Room and stuff. It's been, you know, it's been great to like talk to them and like share tricks and stuff like that. So
do you know when you hear a new song or a new band or a new sound, and it comes on the radio, perhaps if you're in the car, is it a case of you got your producer head on first, then you hear the song, or is it?
It's the bane of my life. Sometimes I can listen to a song and all I've been doing is listening to the hi-hat or something.
Yeah,
stupid. And yeah, it is. Sometimes it's impossible to turn off. Like there's, I was in the car the other day, and like, Some Might Say by Oasis came on, and some days I can listen to it, and it's, you know, I'm just listening to it. But if you listen to it carefully, and like if some of you who are watching like do this after, there's like a vocal delay that's so prominent that you don't really notice it until you listen out for it. And now that's all I can hear. It goes through the whole song. So you've got the vocal and then like a delayed version of it straight away. And once you zone into that, that's all you can hear for the entire song. And
you can't unhear it. Yeah.
Hard. Yeah. So it's really annoying sometimes, because you just like, especially, you know, with, you know, the producer hat, I guess, like you're listening to like a tiny element, and sometimes, and you know, it's hard to switch that off.
Is there anything that you've listened to as well? You don't have to say names, obviously, I wouldn't put you on that position, but you're hearing something and you think, I can't believe that's a hit, you know, because the producing isn't as good, or you thinking, oh, that's not where it should be. Are you hearing that these days, or is it a case of everything that's on the radio right now is of a certain standard, certain level?
I mean, songs are hits because of they're great songs, you know, like the production is something that definitely enhances that, and you know can really make the most of a great song. But you know, if a song's a hit, it's a hit, and it's production. It's got, you know, it's not that relevant really. Like a great song's a great song. There's loads of songs which sound really weird, but they're, you know, they're huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I try not to think about it too much like that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Any other questions? Here we go. Lee Graham, as a huge Aerosmith fan myself, what Aerosmith album would Ramesh like to reproduce if he could? And how would you change the sound?
Ooh.
I mean, I wouldn't touch anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't think I could do that.
No.
They're like, have you seen the making of Pump?
Yes,
That
yes.
is the greatest DVD like I've ever owned.
We talked about it to Lloyd. He loves it. I mean, he loves Aerosmith full stop. But yeah, he put me onto that years ago. He was like, "You've got to check it out." And it's up there, mate.
I've bought like, it must be about 10 copies of it, because I used to take it to studios. Like when I was like, if I go residential with a band, I'd make the band watch it, and I just kept leaving them in studios. And but yeah, it's you know, it's such a great record. But I don't think I could like do, you know, re-record them. I think they make amazing sounding records.
That's our favorite type of studio while we're on it and we're hitting the point. I find it like, you know, I love coming to Longwave. I mean, it's only up the road and it's not far, so you've got that privilege of going home. But I love staying at a studio because I feel like,
yeah, same here.
Yeah, man, I've learned that now with age and everything, and I don't know, I love that camaraderie, and I like the whole
experience.
It just feels, it's
no,
there.
totally.
It just feels like, that's part of it, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? There's stories that come from it, and I felt like when me and Shane have done it in the past, where you kind of go, you sign off, it almost feels a bit job like then, like, see you in the morning, you know what I mean? And it's like, where some of the greatest stories or some of the greatest moments are at 9 o'clock eating a takeaway or watching the making of Pump, like you just said, like, you know.
Yeah, no, like it's not always possible, like, you know, because obviously it ends up kind of costing more money. But I always like encourage it, like if we can. I'm the same. I absolutely love going somewhere and, you know, spending time with the band, and you know, and like you said, like it's just all that time, even aside from the studio, and it's, you know, it's always fun.
It just builds that camaraderie and the layers of the record. I feel it almost sets it up, whether it's good moments or bad. Because, you know, not everybody has a brill day in the studio, or it can become a bit, you know, that red light's on, and But even to cut away from that, or a joke off a producer, I think that's a great thing when a producer knows to kind of go, let's have a break by you, or tells a little joke, or puts a little clip of something on, and part of you's thinking, why is he putting that on the TV now? What's that got to do? We're recording, and it's almost like to take you away. There's a lot of psychology behind recording.
I think, you know, if you're ever, you know, if you can ever do it that way, you know, it's amazing. You know, it's amazing. And you know, you can kind of do your own hours. You can work when you want. I'm pretty sure there was a time where like we got to a residential studio and I just started the barbecue, you know, like just didn't even start recording straight away, because, you know, just to get, you know, just get everyone comfortable, and, you know, so like I'm totally with you there.
Talking about studios, bud, I mean, obviously you mentioned Abbey Road there. There's another studio you've been to, and we got some photos here. Boom.
Oh, yeah. That was unreal. That was nuts. Yeah. I can't remember how it came about. I was in America. I don't know if I was, because I go to NAM every year, the music exhibition thing, and I think someone invited me down, and it's nuts. They've got all their gear is there. The white limos parked outside.
Oh,
Um,
what?
like yeah, and like there's just loads of guitar cases that are like labeled all Dave, 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 Dave. You know, just like rows of them, and yeah, it's like it's nuts. It's just, and yeah, just the stuff on the walls is like yeah, it's proper, you know, proper nuts going in there, and like just seeing stuff you recognize, and yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, so for
Wow.
anybody watching that's 606, that is, yeah?
Studio 606, yeah.
Studio 606, which is the Foo Fighters studio. So there's basically like a lot of stuff from their tours and stuff there as well, is this? So like when they come off tour, they just put it on like
Yeah,
DVD or...
it's their HQ, so I think everything lives there. I think you know, they have, you know, there's staff working there, and you know, I think it's just like where everything is kept, as far as I know.
Well, as far as I know, that's the home of the legendary desk from Sound City, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you see the control room and stuff, Ramesh?
yeah. I went in. Yeah, it's amazing.
Wow.
There's a big painting of Dave Grohl at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I love that.
Amazing,
That's
man.
well, you were on about like bands evolving earlier. I mean, my earliest memory of the band I'm gonna say is of I think I done a show in Yeovil with them, Bring Me the Horizon, and I remember saying to someone at the time, great frontman, you know, very energetic, but I don't see this lasting. How I was wrong, how I was wrong, and I've always owned that statement because I just, you know, at the time it was very sceney, and you know they were screamcore, and it wasn't my bag. There was no melody in it for me, and then to see them evolve how they have, and especially, and what I'm leading to is the latest news of your beautiful gold disc that you had the other day, which is incredible. And not just that, mate, it's the whole trip to LA and being a Grammy nominee.
Yeah, that, like, having anything that you've worked on like recognized it, that kind of, I mean, for anyone in music, like that's this, you know, the top. And yeah, that was just incredible. Like, you know, it was a very surreal time.
What was that like working with the guys? Because like I said, I remember them around 2008, completely different band to what they are now. And I actually really like their last few records. I've said that to Shane and the boys when we've been on the road, listening to how they've kind of evolved. And I'm a big fan of the artwork and everything that kind of goes with it as well. It's always it's very cool. Like, you know, it's what was that like, man? Did you have a past with them, or was it just something?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, I'd worked with them before. So I got asked to mix Live from Wembley, their live album, which I came in like right at the end. I think they couldn't get it right, and then I came in and did it, and I think they liked that. And then they called me back for they did Live at the Royal Albert Hall, which was like a huge show with an orchestra and like a choir, and they got me to mix that for their release as well. And then yeah, like a few, I think it was when we did the premiere actually of the Royal Albert Hall show. Like we had like a private cinema thing up in London, and they asked me then whether I'd be up for working on the next record with them, and yeah, it came about, and we went to, they flew me out to America, to LA for 2 months, which was, you know, that was amazing. It's not bad, is it?
that's not bad.
And yeah, like we lived together for the 2 months as well. We, you know, they rented a big house, and yeah, you know, it was great. I get along with them all really well, and you know, I've known them anyway from working with them before. But yeah, it was a great experience, and to have that long as well on a record was like really cool, because you know, you could, we did songs in batches as well, so we didn't like do all the drums for the entire record and then all the bass or whatever. We just did like like 4 songs, finished those, then started a new batch and stuff like that. So, you know, it was great. I had a really good time, and the weather didn't hurt either. It was, you know, it's beautiful California weather.
Yeah, it's a
I
bit
like
different in Wales. Ugh.
I
Yeah.
like that process. So that's interesting because obviously we've done a few processes ourselves in the Crows and in the past, but that's a really cool vibe. That is almost where you do everything. You get it up to a certain level of 4 or 5 songs, and then it's almost great then for like you then Shane or a vocalist because you can kind of have a break again then
Space
and
it out,
start,
yeah.
and
Yeah. I mean,
start back with the drums, but you've got those 4 or 5 cooking
yeah.
like with
Yeah.
everything kind of there. Everybody's hitting those adrenaline and the excitement of the record, and then you're on to the next 4. And
Yeah.
I like
I mean,
that.
yeah, I mean, it's not always possible, like, because it does, you know, take
Time,
it takes a
yeah.
little time. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool because it you know, makes it a bit fresher again, and it also, you know, it allowed them to keep writing the next batch as well. So, you know, they could tweak stuff while we were finishing recording the first load of songs, and so, you know, it was really good for that as well.
Oh,
Is
very cool.
That sounds a bit sort of traumatic as well, as a producer, because are you thinking like the sound could change on the next batch of songs? Like if you got a drums, as long
So
as
funnily enough, like, and I don't know if this is going to get too technical, but so when we were discussing studio use, I I suggested that we kind of alternate. They had a studio A and then a B, which is across the hall. But what I needed them to do, so we'd cut all the drums in studio A in the big room,
yeah,
and then we'd move into B for like a couple of weeks and do all the guitar stuff. But then I was telling the assistants, when we come back to A, I want the drum kit set up exactly how I left it. And the poor guys there, like, they must have hated me, like, because I wanted everything to be as close to how we left it, you know, because they were dismantling it when we were moving each studio, and
yeah,
they'd walk around with like laser measuring pointers, and you know, one of them would be like talking into a dictaphone. This mic is at 6 inches away from,
yeah,
you know, and like it, and they got it. They were amazing. They got it back, and we just walked in, and it was like, yeah, this is where we left off. So,
yeah,
you know, it's definitely, you know, as you know, studio assistants are so important. You know, like on, it's not, you know, it's not like a hierarchy thing. I think, you know, they're so important to the flow of any, you know, any recording process, and they were great there. They just got it. They, you know, I got given at the end of the 2 months like envelopes and envelopes full of like documentation that this guy had taken so many photos of my settings that he'd made all his phone memory full. He couldn't use his phone. It just stopped working. But yeah, so yeah, it was, you know, it was a great experience, and you know, to have, you know, for it, you know, it was like #1 UK record, and for it to go gold and the Grammy, yeah, all that stuff is just incredible.
wow,
Yeah,
man,
it's a real tip of the hat to them, how they've progressed. And it's like you said, you know, they got good songs. There's solid songs there. It's resonating with a massive audience as well.
And I
Um,
think that's what I was getting at earlier, like, you know, just talking about bands evolving. I mean, there's such an amazing example of like, look at what you can do, you know.
yeah, yeah,
Like, you'd never think that you'd see Bring Me the Horizon on Sunday brunch, you know, but
yeah, yeah,
you know, they, you know, stuff like that, you know. I think they're a really great example of a band who just steps it up each time, and yeah.
yeah. And like you said, the sound has adapted. It's evolved. It's got massive atmospheric. And then to take it to the Albert Hall and do a show there, which I think is a lot of bands' dreams if you've got that material to do something like that, which is phenomenal. Is that one of your favorite moments throughout your career, Ramesh? Doing this record and what it's achieved at the moment, or is there something else that sticks out where you're like,
Yeah.
was like that was my favorite moment?
I mean, yeah, like, I mean, I think this is definitely, you know, a highlight for me because of what's come out of it, and just being able to go to the Grammys has always been a lifelong dream for me, let alone to have something recognized there as well. So yeah, I mean, like, definitely I'm so thankful for them having me work on it, and just really grateful for that.
I love that.
Amazing, dude. We've been told in the private chat there to talk about the Crows in the studio, because we got some exclusive behind the scenes photos. Let's have a look at this. There's Dave.
Hey.
Yeah, this was brilliant, man. I mean, me and the boys were talking about it the other day, Ramesh, it was such a fun but weird process. Do you know what I mean? It was so different.
Yeah.
And I know you went through it with Inglorious, but for us, it was like, wow, this is weird. Like, it's
yeah, I think like, it was just new to everyone. With no one's ever been through pandemic like this, and you have to kind of figure out how to do it. But I'm so glad we did it, because otherwise we wouldn't have done it, and that song wouldn't be around.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad we kind of were like, right, how can we make this work? And it was great fun. I really enjoyed that session.
Yeah, man, it was really strange. And Ramesh was like, "Can you put your mask up, please?" Even if it was down a little bit, it was like, "There, your mask." It was like so. No, but it was, and that's what I want to stress to everybody. It was through tough times, but we were so strict with those restrictions, and
big time.
And to have something positive come out of a real shit time, man. Like working, it felt like we were going to work again. So it was amazing, and the whole experience was so fun. Loved it, absolutely loved it, but so weird.
Yeah,
so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautifully put, that is, mate. It's because I hear it now, and it's fab. Still getting a lot of radio play, and it
it's done well. That
it has, mate. It's doing really, really well. And I was out somewhere the other day, and we get asked, what's it like when you hear somebody else playing your music? I didn't have our music on, but I literally passed somebody, and they had Sick of Me playing.
Oh, no way.
Like,
that's cool.
Yeah. And it was like, it sounded fucking much better in his car, but this way. So I don't know what stereo he had compared to mine, like, but it was banging. It was pumping out the windows.
I still get a huge buzz out of that, like hearing stuff on the radio or hearing it in a club. Like, it's still, it's amazing.
Well, for me, we were on a junction going around a roundabout, and I almost kind of, I was like, I got a tidy issue, and I was like, that's our song. And then I remember kind of
going back around, chasing the car.
Yeah, and I will have that summer, because I was like, is it our song? And then like went to the next traffic light. I was like, fucking hell, it sounds great. Like, do you know what I mean? And the point of me saying that little funny story was like, I don't know, it just brought me straight back to it of, oh wow, we managed to do that, because the reality is, we are where we are, and the light is now at the end of the tunnel, as everyone's saying. But during that time, it was so hard to get anything over the line.
And I think that's the key thing, that we managed to do it. It's like, there's so many projects that have had to go on hold, and like, I feel so sorry for like, especially like live engineers who've just had nothing. They've not been able to do their jobs, and so I think I was just stoked that we were able to do it, and I think we came out with a great result as well. So
man, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit, Ramesh, about Control Room, for guys who don't know anything about it. Can you tell people about
that? Yeah, sure. It's an audio community that I set up for either bedroom producers, people who are like getting into making songs at home, but there's also like Grammy-winning, platinum-selling, very successful producers and mixers in there, and it's amazing because like everyone, communicates together, and like everyone treats each other with respect. There's no like talking down to anyone who's like just starting out. It's the most amazing community. I started it because I used to get like a lot of like people on the internet going, "Oh, how did you get this sound? How did you get this guitar sound on this record and whatever?" And I just thought there's got to be a better way of kind of doing this, and like rather than kind of spamming people's timelines and stuff, and which I probably still do actually with Control Room, but yeah. But yeah, like, and it, it's just become amazing. It's not just about myself. It's like there's so many like producers that I look up to, and they're constantly sharing like their tips and tricks. Like there was like one amazing time when someone was like, I'm trying to get this vocal to sound like this Ed Sheeran track, and the producer who did that Ed Sheeran track replied and said, "I did this, here you go," and just sent all the screenshots of his settings, and like it was just so helpful to someone starting out. And I don't know, for me, like I wish I had this growing up, so hopefully it helps like a new generation of producers or people who want to kind of get involved in this stuff.
That's amazing, dude. I follow you on Instagram and stuff, and I've seen that these messages and these people being asking questions, and it's almost like no question is stupid. It's a question's a question, and
no, yeah,
and the advice they're getting is from established, Grammy-nominated producers. It's incredible. I wish we had that as kids, man.
Yeah, like it's wicked. Like I mean, it's just like whenever someone mentions a song, usually the producer that's done it is like in there, and then you hear like so many like cool stories about like what technique they did. I mean, there's that She's American song by 1975, and I was like, the drums sound so distinctive on that, and Mike Crossley, the producer, like straight away told us how they did it, and I was like, I never would have even thought that's how you did it. And like, so it's been wicked. And we kind of like, so we give like multi-track downloads as well. So like, there's a Funeral for a Friend one actually in there, and people can download those that I've recorded, and it helps them to learn how to mix better at home or whatever. Yeah, like it's been awesome.
That's incredible, bud. The advice and knowledge giving back to people as well, man. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Well done to you, bro. Thanks. And your guitar plugins. Let's talk about your guitar plugins too. This man does it all. This man does it all.
I think this is wicked. This is.
Yeah, like so a company called STL Tones asked me ages ago about doing this plugin thing with them, and it's been wicked. We basically I can't tell you too much about the process of how we do it, but we captured the sound of, I don't know if I can turn the camera this way, but I've got like amps here and quite a lot more next door as well, and we captured the sound of those with my miking positions and like exactly how I would record it, and you're able to get those sounds in a plugin now, and so you can literally just plug a guitar into your interface at home and play and have the sound that I've we captured in the studio in in your laptop or whatever, and it sounds wicked. Like, and also it's like it's standalone, so you don't have to have like recording software. If you just want an amp at home, then that's got like 60 different sounds, I think, or something like that. And they put it all. I don't know if anyone from your band uses Kempers, but they put the whole thing into a Kemper pack as well. So but yeah, it's been great. And like, I just made it as good as I could because I wanted to be able to use the plugin as well. So it was I was kind of building it a bit selfishly. Like there were amps that I wanted to be able to have, and it's great. Like we were doing a track the other day, and it's a really good writing tool, because a lot of the time when you're writing, you don't want any tech stuff to be stopping you when you're like writing a song. And we were just doing a little recording writing thing, and I'd use the real amps when I'm recording the track for properly, but like while we were just doing the writing thing, we were just able to, oh yeah, that guitar sound would be great for this part, and it's all in front of you. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, man, that's such a huge thing as anybody being creative. If it sounds half decent starting off, you're on a winner. So
But I also think like with stuff like that, it's like when you've got a new guitar
yeah,
and like it inspires you to write
yeah.
a song, and like I think it's like that with guitar sounds. I think as soon as you play through them, it triggers something, and you're like, and then you stumble on something new. So I tried to make it like that where when you go on the sounds, you don't really have to do much. It's already sounds good. And
Well, that's incredible, dude. All the links are there in the comments. There they are. Look, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Amazing plugins. We love them. I've used them. Can't say enough about them. There we are. Lee Evans STL plugins are awesome.
Yes,
Lee can play guitar like a mother trucker. Slamming. There's a few questions here. Any more questions for Ramesh, guys? There's actually one here about. Oh no!
Don't stitch me up again.
I've lost it. Whoa! Hang on, that's a bit personal. What's that about?
How big is Shane's mic?
What do you mean, this one or the one on the photograph? Emma Ashcraft, have you ever worked on any albums where bands have brought in guest musicians you didn't expect? There's lots of session musicians in Cali.
Yeah, I mean it definitely happens. There was one hilarious time. I won't say who the band was.
Go on.
But instead of using like the string quartet that I usually like to use, they brought in some people and it was so out of tune, and I was like, we can't use any of this. And I was in tears laughing, and I hid under this desk. I was just like,
oh no.
Yeah. And
what
so
did you do? Did you stop it or did you allow them to do it and just not use it?
By some freak accident, it timed itself with the day that this company brought out this like super tuning software. And I was like, I need to buy that now because I can't use any of the stuff otherwise. And it saved it. It put all my strings into tune, and
so it's like auto tune for string quartet.
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
how does that work as well? Do you actually tell the artist like maybe don't use them again, or do you just kind of go, "Cool guys, got everything we need"?
I mean, this was a long time ago. I mean, like now I'll usually, I'll kind of, the bands may have someone they know. I think that was a very, one-off thing that happened. But yeah, most of the time it's great. I mean, I do records sometimes. I did one for a girl called Emma Blackery, and I just brought in session musicians, and that was great because like from working on records, you meet like, oh, that's a great guitarist, I'd love to use them at some point, and oh, that's a great drummer. And sessions like that, you're able to basically make a super group and just call these people. Like, that session I went to Germany with, for instance, I took a session band with me. I took the bass player for Rag and Bone Man. He's like one of the best bass players I've ever worked with, and he's a good, it's a good friend. We've worked on like quite a few things together, and it's nice sometimes being able to just put like the best of the best together, and it makes my job easier because everyone plays amazingly and they're used to being in those situations as well. So I do enjoy having session people on.
Awesome. One last question before Ramesh shoots off. David Franks, hi Ramesh, what is your favorite amp and pedal combination to record with, and do you prefer to mic the speaker cabinet or use the direct out?
Hey David, my favorite amp, it's a tough one, probably JCM 800, because I think it's Marshall. It's a Marshall. It's a classic amp. You can get pretty much anything out of it. Pedal wise, I like to use this. So when I was doing Bring Me, Lee introduced me to Klon pedals, and An original Klon is like $2,000 or something. Like they go for crazy money now, maybe more. I don't know. But I found a pedal by a company called J Rocket, and it's called the Archer, and it's one of those things where I wish I'd bought years ago. But yeah, that's my what I like to use. In terms of your miking question, yeah, always a mic and never record straight out of the amp. They're always mic'd up because there's something about the air moving through speakers and you want to capture that sound. So yeah, it's always sounds great with a mic there.
Awesome. Ramesh, thank you so much, brother. Any other questions, get onto Control Room. This guy and so many other producers up and coming and been there and done it. The community is incredible. Go and check that out. Ramesh, thank you so much for coming tonight, buddy, and joining us on CrowCast. No doubt we will see you when the world puts itself right.
Yes, beers are needed, Ramesh. Definitely.
Yeah, I'd be well up for
and we'll
that.
go down to Fuel and we'll put 30 Oasis songs on to wind them up.
Yes, let's do that.
You don't need to encourage me to do that.
And invite your brothers down the Campbell boys. Take care, brother. Great to see you, Ramesh.
Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you so
bro.
much. That's fantastic.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. Let's bring in the boys. Let's see, yeah, man. How you doing, boys?
Aye, good, man. That was good.
What's up?
Yeah, it was lovely, man. I mean, like I know all of us have known Ramesh for years, but it was nice. I don't know to find out a few things that I hadn't known about him, like if that makes sense. Or how did he start? Because I'd said to him off camera, and then I kind of didn't want to get too much into it because obviously we wanted to talk about it on the show. But I remember his name just always be floating around early 2000s or whenever it was.
Oh, aye, he was the go-to guy, wasn't he? I mean, if you wanted to record in, he was doing everyone, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's like at that time, see, like myself and Shina were kind of in a different mix of bands, and we always used to go to like, which Ramesh knows, Ginger and Jeff at the time down in Newport. But a lot of the other bands, when we were kind of coming across them or playing TJs and stuff like that, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, man, we just recorded with Ramesh," and you do Ramesh, and then obviously then Kids in Glass Houses started doing really well, Ramesh, and so it's really cool to kind of see the journey. And he was very humble, as you said, Shane. He's worked with so many amazing artists. The list is incredible, so it's cool to see somebody work from the side of an house and then obviously take it to where they have now, and then obviously lead up to being a Grammy-nominated producer. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, grown with the band. It's a great story, man.
Great journey, man. What a journey.
Yeah. Were you going mental, Lloyd, when he was mentioning Aerosmith and Pump?
I
can imagine it backstage. Like...
He told me that story before, and I remember when he was on about with Phil Campbell, I was fucking pissing myself.
Yeah, man, that's a great story.
I've heard that one before. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's
fantastic.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Oh no, fair play.
He didn't say how the concert was in the end, though, did he? He had the story, and he didn't say it.
Maybe it wasn't as good as the story.
Yeah, maybe they sucked.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, Lloyd, be wrong to sort you out, but saying that.
Yeah. You watch your fucking lips, then. I come and fill you in now.
I can tell you, Dave, that me and Lloyd have seen him on separate occasions, separate periods of life. And they were all fucking ace, weren't they, Lloyd?
So, fucking right. No, out of this world, mate.
Yeah, no, I can imagine they would be. They would.
You don't get branded as America's greatest rock and roll band of all time for being shit.
Yeah, I'm gutted, man. I had tickets for them.
They
last year. Yeah.
Same original members as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And I think, I don't want to say it, Lloyd, but if Shane would have gone and seen him, was Kramer going to be in the band at that point, or would it have been the?
Yeah, I think he was back. He was back in there. They just, man. I mean, they spent so long together.
Yeah.
If you think so long, I mean, there's always going to be a bit of argument, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? We'll only let, obviously, what happened wasn't good. But I mean, the press portray things as well. Sometimes they blow it out of the water. I mean, those 5 guys know each other like the fucking back of their hand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, let's get one of them on, shall we? Talk about it.
I always remember
love
that
her.
video. I always remember the video because we were on the road at the time.
yeah.
And I said to you, I hope it was a PR stunt because it just seemed.
It was when he was turning up to rehearsals, wasn't he? He was
He
like,
had
"Ah,
the
sorry,
carrier
Kay."
bag, like it just reminded me of something out of Still Crazy. He had the bag. He's walking up to the back door, and they're like, "No, man, you can't come in." And Joey Kramer's like, "What do you mean?" And
You're
you could
just doing
hear,
your job.
yeah, and you could hear the drummer in the background. I'm like, "Oh, fucking hell!"
I think some of the stories in the press were that they made him pay his own tech, personally pay his own tech to play.
Wow.
I mean, that's the press, though. Do you know what I mean? It may,
Yeah,
it
you
may,
never know, do
may
you?
have happened, may not have happened, but
Yeah.
Hmm.
It is hard, mind. I mean, you know, all jokes aside, they have been doing it for such a long time, and you know, I can only speak from my own kind of stool per se, but it is an hard job. I mean, I was speaking about this to somebody the other day, and the whole Nico McBrain, you know, he's been wanting to kind of wrap it up for a while now because you know you got his age and playing an Iron Maiden set for Jesus Christ 2 hours. 2 hours strong, like, do you know what I mean? And obviously, they keep saying, right, then maybe one more tour, and you know how they do a tour anyway.
they're not exactly small to us.
Yeah.
Are they?
And then you put COVID on top of that, which is, you know, yet again put his age back again, like,
Yeah.
and then to come back and do all the reschedule stuff without the fact of like probably all the stuff that they had planned again on top
The
of
old
that.
legacy of the beast.
Yeah,
like.
man. I mean, you know, like fair play to the Stones as well. Like, you know, it's did any of you see that Dave Grohl with Mick Jagger?
Yeah.
No, but I haven't seen
No.
it, but
Oh.
I've seen it advertised and stuff all over like social media and stuff.
It's cool as fuck.
It is cool.
What is it, like a chat? Is it like a sit down chat sort of thing?
No, it's a song.
Nice.
Song, dude.
Oh, right.
He's doing
yeah.
another documentary, isn't he? With
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks cool.
I know Tyler's in that. Steve Tyler's going to be in that.
Yeah. Well, look, he pinched that off us. We were talking about that before, but we called it something else. We call it you're laughing, Shane, because you remember in the van, these are the 3 o'clock in the morning chats where it's like, we're the Road Warriors, man. We're the
Warriors.
It's like wrestling. We're the Road Warriors, and then we start talking about it. Then about like, you know, it should be a series of like life in the van, and I remember us all chatting about it, like van life. I like, you know, because a lot of there's a lot of driving.
The 1 hour of power, like.
Yeah, especially when, you know, you do hear the terms, you're not a real band unless you've hit the fucking road and you've struggled, like, you know, and you've got that condensation dripping off the roof, waking you up in the morning, like, do you know what I mean? That's not
the smell of farts in the van. And,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
All for the hope of rock and roll, innit? It's
Yeah.
mad, like, you know, it's all
That's it. And long may it continue.
all for that clap, like at the end of a song. Oh man, it's fucking brilliant. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that because that's what it's all based around, isn't it? Like van life, hitting the road. I love that. Motherfucker, he's got us tapped. He has.
Wouldn't surprise me, but
He's got us tapped. He has. I'll have him.
right, let's do some birthday shout outs. We start off with Sue Lucas. Hey Crows, could I please have a birthday shout out for my other half, Phil Metcalf? It was his birthday on Saturday. He's an absolute star and always puts everyone else before himself. Happy birthday, Phil!
Happy birthday!
Hope you had a good in bed. Hard Rock Hell, radio DJ and magazine editor, Mr. Toby Winch. It was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Toby!
Happy birthday!
Ooh, look at that for the backdrop, purple. Ooh,
I like that as well.
I like that very much. Kerry Davis from the Rock and Roll Circus. It was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Kerry!
Happy birthday!
Jane Smith. Hey Crows, can you do me a favor and give a shout out to my son Marcus, please? It's his 23rd birthday on Friday, the 16th of April. I'm so looking forward to being able to see him on Friday, as I haven't been able to see him since November. I'm so proud of him. He graduated last year in film and TV. Obviously, this sector has been hit hard by COVID, but he's got himself a job, a permanent job recently, and is doing well. He's working at Screwfix. No, that's not a dating agency. Thank you. Should be.
Should be.
Happy birthday, Marcus.
Birthday.
Happy birthday, Anne Harrod Price. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Anne Harrod.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Steve Brammer. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Oh. A big shout out to Tarina Merchant, who watches every week. Big love from all your family.
Big shout out.
Hooray. Big shout out. And a big shout out to former frontman of Swedish rock band Heat, Eric. Our thoughts are with you, brother. Get well soon.
Get well, man. Get well.
And that's the shout outs.
Well, I've been sipping on beer all night and you talked about giving some away. So shall we do that?
Why not?
Fuck, I.
What's the next lyric? It's lyric time. What's the next line? What's the next line? What's the next line?
Wait for it.
So this one's quite tricky. I'll give you a bit of a clue. It's an old one. It's a classic Crow.
It's an oldie where I come from.
It's an oldie but a goldie. And the lyric is, as I float, you will drown. As I float, you will drown. What's the next line? Go.
Christ, it sounds like something out of it, mate. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
They all float down here.
Every time you say, what's the next line?
Oh, it's the Halloween
I'm so
special
tempted to
coming
say it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Oh,
Like
do another one.
lyrics Tourette's. Like,
so what was it one more time, Mr. Greenall?
As I float, you will drown. As I float, you will drown.
Okay, while we're waiting for the answer, it's time for Crow Radio.
The best.
The best.
The best.
The best music all day long. Crow Radio. Crow Radio. Available now via Those Damn Crows Spotify page. Don't forget to click the green heart.
bam. Crow Radio this week is songs produced by Ramesh.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, here we go.
Yeah.
Our good friends in Those Damn Crows, Sick of Me.
Yeah.
Wonderful Life, Feet, Danny Filth from Cradle of Filth, from
Two.
Bring Me the Horizon. I Know How to Die, Motorhead, 16 by Funeral for a Friend, which is, I think, is a great song off of their best album, I think, personally.
Tune.
Gravity, Holding Absence, She Won't Let You Go, Inglorious.
Tune.
What is Light? Where is the Laughter? With Skrillex, that's Twin Atlantic. Sorry, my
Good
phone's
friends.
gone weird.
Tune.
Friends. Give Me What I Want by Kids in Glass Houses, our Welsh brothers. Yes. Blood on My Hands, Attack, Attack.
Tune.
Ringleader by Phil Campbell and all Ramesh's brothers.
That is actually a tune.
I don't know why I don't know why they didn't invite Ramesh into the band, because being one of the sons, like. But there we are. Nothing Worth Having Comes Easy by Save Your Breath. Feel It Faster by Verses. Synthetic Sympathy, Trash Boat, Reasons, The Bottom Line, and Happy Song, which was live at the Royal Albert Hall by Bring Me the Horizon. So they're all Ramesh produced songs, and you will get a feel of his sound. Play it
Love
loud.
that.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about Spotify, Dave.
Oh, it's this app you put on your phone and you listen to music and are you sure? No. Press the little green heart, share it, pass it around your mates, listen to it, follow us if you're not already. That's a big one.
Why would you press the green heart? What is the green heart?
It's a little drawing of a little heart that you press.
Brilliant.
To,
Why would you
to be
press
honest,
that?
Rod, I haven't got a fucking clue.
Oh, right.
I just say it every week.
Say it every week. Oh, so it's more bollocks than facts again.
It is, yeah. I just blagging my way through it, like
Through life.
So
like,
if you love a certain playlist, so if I love this playlist now, I'm gonna go out for a walk tomorrow. I'm gonna take in some fresh air. I'm gonna listen to Ramesh's most produced records. Is that what the playlist was called?
yeah. Okay,
His
why not?
produced records. There we are. You're the man. So what happens if I don't go out tomorrow and I want to listen to it next week, but it's next Wednesday, for example? That's gonna be too late then. So what would I do?
See, no, the green heart doesn't do that. The little arrow pointing down does that. You save it and you can listen to it.
Ah,
Yes.
right.
The little green
Very
heart is just
just a follow,
it's just
innit?
for people who've got a fetish for pressing little green hearts, I suppose.
Oh,
I don't know. If anyone knows,
can
put it in the
save
comments.
the playlist, basically. I know this because my family taught me the other day. I had a lovely barbecue when the weather was nice once upon a time. It was very crisp in the night, mind. It was like Vegas. But I remember doing a barbecue and I listened to that Southern Rock playlist that we did, which was a banger.
Yeah,
And I was lucky because, it was weeks later. And if I wouldn't have known how to save it, see, Dave, that could have been lost. It would have been gone. Forever gone.
You basically want to be saving all these playlists. Press the little green the little arrow. I'm going to press it now.
That's the thing. I would have had to listen back to that episode of CrowCast and listen to you reload every song and add it to an individual playlist, which would have been time consuming. Where if the people know how to save it, boom, we've helped them, haven't we?
There, bam.
Exactly.
Yes.
All your business done, nice and tidy.
Lovely
I
job.
love it. So yeah, man, follow us on Spotify. We are very grateful for that. And like I said, keep giving us feedback on the playlists because some of them are very, very, very cool. And I have saved them. So that's really good news for you and for me. There we are. So before we move on to the winner of the competition, let's have a quick update on Crow Fitness with Annie Schwarzenegger. Yes, I'm going to try and read this out properly this week. It's not such a tongue twister, or is it? So week 6 of Crow Fitness World Tour, and we were... Oh, I've already fucked it. Right, cut. Nobody pretend they heard that. Here we go. Week 6 of Crow Fitness World Tour. And we added another 1,838.6 miles. That's got us to 44% of our target. So we should be over halfway around the equator by next week. Did that take us to Canada, though? What do you think, boys? Kind of. We just about reached the coast of Newfoundland and probably had to stow away in a freighter to get there. Since there are no ferries from Reykjavik, I said that really quick.
That sounded like an effect. That sounded like a clown's effect. When he presses the horn. Well, whatever.
You'll have to listen back to that episode, this episode, to get the full effect. But that sounds like the beginnings of a great tale from the road to me. So for anybody who haven't got a fucking clue what I'm on about right now, let me tell you, Crow Fitness is a fantastic page where the community have got together and they're sharing their day-to-day exercise. Annie came up with a fantastic idea because the band can't get on the road at the moment. The Crow family would do a world tour for us. So all your did that come out right? I don't know. So basically all your efforts are combined, and we're going to come from Bridgend all around the world and see where we go. There we go. Happy days. I don't know what that sounded like.
That was so funny.
Oh man. But yeah, massive thanks to Annie. I'm sure she's going to put an hard one. Well, she doesn't really have to because I balls that one up. So I'm going to keep it as a feature. Can Ronnie read it right? There we go. Can
New
Ronnie
segment.
read it right? Go.
There's a new segment.
It's like bloody Adam Sandler then.
Go.
We see it every week, Go. It is incredible. Crow family, the Crow Fitness.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. We're halfway around the world, man.
Yeah, positivity.
Grant's like Lance Armstrong. I don't know if any of you have seen him. No, it's not Lance Armstrong, is it? Who's the one that cheated? Who's the one on drugs?
Lance Armstrong. I
Yeah,
think it's
there we
Lance.
are.
Yeah.
Who's the one on drugs?
Not Neil Armstrong now.
He's got on the moon, dude.
It's John Armstrong. There's a lot of Armstrongs, so yeah. There's a fucker on the moon, fucker on the bike, and a fucker who played a mean fucking trumpet. Yeah.
and
Louis, man.
Tim Armstrong from
Louis Armstrong.
Rancid.
Oh, Louis Armstrong, yeah.
There we are. Tidy. Tidy.
Bring on the trumpets. Bring on the trumpet.
You fucking leave them where they are.
Yeah.
There we are. Have we got a winner, Shane?
We have got a winner. It's
I gotta get one of them for next week.
so this what's the next line? The song is actually from 7 Days. Remember that, a classic? Oh, it's a Crow classic, that one. The lyric was, "As I float, you will drown." The lyric that follows, "As your world comes crashing down." Few people had this, but the winner this week is Sarah Gailey. Congratulations, Sarah.
Hooray.
You got yourself a couple of beers.
Nice.
Tidy.
Actually, it's not just 4 cans of the wonderful Sendanipa. There's actually a leather coaster and a can cozy.
No way.
Oh, they've been
nice.
Unbelievable.
What is a can cozy?
Keeps it
It sounds
cozy
like a
can.
fucking
Can cozy.
dance.
A sleeve, innit? Sleeve for your can.
Australians always use them. You always see Australians using them.
Lloyd, you shouldn't do that, really. Like, or you just did that. That was
No one noticed until you said.
uh,
I think its purpose is to stop your hand warming the beer up when if you're holding.
So
it.
what's the action, Dave?
There it is. There's a Photoshop moment, everybody.
Right, here we go. Like, you know, I was Captain Dildo last week, right?
I the other in one hand and someone else in the other, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
So
Talking about
wank
Captain
He's
salon.
going skiing.
Talking about Captain Dildo. Sorry, Dave. There you are.
There we are. Practical this week, everyone. It's a practical one. Pick up
your
your
nose, man.
Oh, Gary had it, bastard.
Who the fuck's Gary?
Got it. Got it.
Gary.
Got
Gary.
it. Got it.
Right, you gonna play along. This is good. This is right. Did you know?
Gary sticking it at him.
He's a bastard. He's a little bastard.
Don't
Don't fuck with cats. Don't fuck with
He's
cats.
got claws. But
Oh, look at that.
Oh, the nasty fuckers. I'd rather fight. I wouldn't want to be attacked by a cat properly. I tell you, it'd be fucking horrendous. Anyway, right. Pick your phone up, everyone. Grab your phone. Open the calculator. Come on, listen. Now, this is important. You do this properly, right?
Oh, Christ.
Open your phone up. Right.
what we
You
got
need, to
there?
have you need to have your calculator. So open your phone up with your calculator, right?
All right,
Yeah.
all right, all right. Need to have
You
the
doing it?
calculator.
Yeah.
Get your calculator out. Come on.
Get your calculator out.
Yeah,
For the
right. So now type in your shoe size.
aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Add two. Just don't add 2 zeros, but it's got to be 2 zeros plus 2 zeros, right? So mine's 9 plus 2 zeros, 900, right?
2 0.
Okay.
So
Then
yeah.
don't
type in
know.
your shoe size. So if your shoe size is 11, put 11 0 0.
Oh, so you don't actually put plus 0
No,
0.
not plus. No.
You just fucking told everything about plus.
You fucking said, man. You're on a completely fucking different tutorial than me.
Right,
Fucking
start
hell.
again. Start
Go on,
again. Put
right.
your shoe size in 0 0.
Right, so
Aye.
put your seed. Yeah, right. Put your shoe size in 0 0 after it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So everyone done that?
Only, that should be 200 for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So are we all good? Everyone done it? Everyone done it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Now minus.
Minus.
Actually minus the
Now
year of your
press
birth.
minus, yeah.
You-
Minus.
The year of your birth, right?
Yeah.
As in the full 4
Yes, the full four. Mine's 1983, so it's 1,983. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Done that. Now plus, like actually plus, the little plus.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
we're pressing plus, right?
This year. So it's 2021, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And press equals.
Yeah.
So the last two numbers should be either your age now or the age you're turning this year.
No.
Yeah, mine is.
Mine's
must-
840.
Yeah, mine's
Yeah,
right
you're
there,
40.
20.
You're 40 this year, then
Mine's
you.
right as well.
Fuck no. That's wrong.
Your,
Alex. That's a
your
joke.
next birthday.
You know,
So
you've been
mine's
tricking me,
mine's
son of a
38,
bitch.
and I am 38.
Fuck.
Did it work?
You did
Yeah,
good.
mine's right. Yeah, mine's
Fuck,
right there,
right.
20.
So, let's have a look at those shite.
Go on.
And the only way that would be wrong is if you lied about a few things, like your shoe
Oh.
size.
Well done, Dave.
Oh,
Crow family enjoying that.
Yeah. Well done, Shine. Yeah.
that was really good, Bet. Well done.
Fucking cutting the years off. I like it.
Peter Pan here.
Sure,
If
If you're impressed with that, check this one out. I got another one now, right?
Yeah, if you actually looked, Dave, it was mine was minus 820.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Right, everybody.
Oh, we got another one, have we?
This only applies for men. So I am
Right,
very,
don't-
very sorry. I'm
It's
very
not
sorry.
everybody then, is it?
Very
Right.
sexist.
I'm very sorry.
Very
Don't
sexist.
fuck it up now, because that was a good one. That was.
Get your left arm out. Every
Right.
single male has a freckle just down from the crease in your arm, about there. Little
I
freckle.
Oh, my fucking arm's tattooed to fuck, mate. Oh, my
Yeah,
fucking
Yeah, I
I'll
know.
see
Yeah,
freckle.
if you tattooed over, it, you might not see it, but I can see mine just.
Yeah, you should have put that in the disclaimer, shouldn't you?
Hmm.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
On the sort of the top-ish of
Hang
your
on.
arm. There.
If I'll have a look for you now. Yeah,
Hmm.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Got one, Shane?
On top. You told me on the bottom, you crazy bastard.
Yeah, yeah.
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 I got a rose there. I have.
Hmm.
There we are.
Yeah, I see.
Got a mess of cab.
So what's it mean, Dave, if a woman has got one there as well? What's that mean?
Whoa.
Means that they are hiding something.
All the hiding, Dave.
Something meaty and something meaty and lives in your trousers.
Hey,
Look at the trap, Dave. Look at the trap.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, Adam.
We are. Look at it. He said, "You fucking read it." Jesus Christ.
All
We look with your
Oh.
eyes, boy.
There we are.
Oh,
Probably a great time to say, if you are new to the show, God help you, it's not always this bad. Go and check out Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Well, we're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch as well tonight. And on Twitter as well. You can follow us on there. And if you like all your eggs in one basket, as I've said many weeks now, it's easier to go to www.thosedamncrows.com, where you can find everything out about us, what's going on, rescheduling, what's been announced, beer, if it's available, where to get it from, new videos, straight to the shop where we got brand new Crow merch. There is a little bit left. Orders are running quite low at the moment. Is that right, Mr. Greeno? Stock is running low.
Very low. Very low, brother.
Very low. These have been very, very popular. And as we've said in past episodes, in this climate at the moment, it's really, really hard to get stock because a lot of warehouses are only now actually starting to get back to normal and they're not fully staffed, etc. So thank you for buying the merch. Thank you for supporting the band. Check us out on all the socials. Check us out at www.thosedamncrows.com.
There we go. And just to let everybody know, they're awaiting the lyric artwork. We had a bit of trouble with the envelopes. It's mad, but apparently cardboard is really difficult to find these days. So we have a new batch of cardboard envelopes sent out to us, and they will be with you by the end of this week.
Slam in.
Fabulous.
Ladies and gentlemen, one-liner, shiner.
This one's especially for Dave and Gary.
Gary.
See, Dave, you were laughing, but you didn't see Gary popping up on the screen, did you?
Gary.
Yeah, no, it did, yeah.
The Gary gang.
It's like Fight Club, isn't it? That thing flashing up.
There you go. So, Dave, this one's especially for you, right?
Oh, cheers, bud.
Don't be like anyone else.
Be fucking a miracle if I manage that.
So are you saying to be you, Shayna?
Yes. Yeah, I just put a few more words in. I thought I'd better guess them in.
Embellish it a little bit, like
Yeah.
a bit of meat on the bones, like.
What is the matter with you?
Look, we're nearly at the end of the show, Dave. We're nearly there.
It's hard, Dave.
Crow family, thank you so much. This has been CrowCast episode 55. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, every week. We will see you next week. CrowCast 56. Stay safe, and we'll see you then. Ta-da!
I'm not